show.
We have such sights to show you.
Welcome back to the Double Movie View It, a horror podcast. I'm Jesse Spitzer.
And I'm J.R. Lees.
And we have a very special episode because it's a very special day. It's Chainsaw Day. We've made
Chainsaw
it.
Day.
Hooray.
Happy Chainsaw Day.
Yeah, it seems odd to me that we haven't talked about. Well, we have actually. I guess we have talked about this movie a little bit through
we've done the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up every week in some way. I mention it.
It does.
We did do the documentary before we did the actual movie proper.
Which I think kind of shows how this movie is kind of what can be said about it. You know, that hasn't been said a billion times already, but we're gonna try. But yeah, and if you haven't caught it yet, it's up. It's up now. We did a little fan commentary for the movie, which was so much fun. So genuinely go check that out. It was so much fun to make, and I want to do more of those because that was just a fun experience.
It is really fun. Yeah,
it's also I think maybe the third movie I've ever watched with you, which is really weird. It's like that, and then I think we caught an X-Men movie at some point.
Which one would that have been? Would have been.
I don't know. You were over at my house. It wasn't in theaters. It was okay. It was a long time
I do remember that
ago.
now. Yeah. I remember thinking I got to keep my hands to myself because I don't want to get slapped or anything. Anyway, happy Chainsaw Day.
Yeah, sorry, off on a tangent there. Yeah, so this is it safe to say this is your favorite horror movie?
This is my favorite movie, I think.
Favorite movie.
I think it's gone up in estimation to be my favorite movie.
Well, why don't you give the little synopsis for those who don't know what the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is?
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's great because the title does it all the work for it.
That's true.
It is the Texas Chainsaw. There's a scary little element, you know, the word Texas. It is the happy story of a family, a brother and sister who are in Texas. They get word that there's been some grave robbings, so they get some of their friends. They get in a van and they go to make sure that they get Leatherface is in the room, or my cat just went nuts. Either way, they go to see if their grandparents' graves have been messed with. I'm going to say it politely. And along the way, they decide to go check out the house. And no one's been there for years. And on a subplot, a very small subplot, you have the Chainsaw family, who are just trying to get by. You know, they're a working man, and they're doing what they can, selling barbecue, run a gas station.
Yeah,
worried about
the electricity bill.
The electrical bill. And it's one of those things that actually break it down and describe it. It is, you can completely deflate it. I love it for so many reasons that it's not. You know, it's one of those things where I love it. It's misremembered as being this gory thing, and it's one of those things where I know I watched it at an impressionable age, and I read about it at an impressionable age. But every time I watch it, I think it's my time capsule to my childhood, and it's pretty much unperturbed because the Star Wars is a big thing as a kid too. And Star Wars is still there. Star Wars is being, and people are saying it's been ruined and changed, and there's always these versions of it out there. It keeps growing and changing. It doesn't matter how many sequels and remakes they do of Chainsaw. The original Chainsaw is still by itself. There's nothing else is actually really connected to it. It's kind of like the pearl inside. Everything else is just flotsam and jetsam. I dig some of the sequels a lot. I love 2, Tobe Hooper's second one. But it's just like my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I love it. It's a movie that, for me personally, obviously I love it. I think anybody that watches it will find something to love about it, in some capacity. Was there ever a time when you watched it where this was like, because now I watch it, I even mentioned this, I still, because it was so, like off-putting and scary to me when I was a child, it still like rattles me a little bit. Like even now, even watching it while talking to you and learning so much about it with it muted, and you know, I was sitting in a closet with the lights on and everything, still is like it's something about it just doesn't feel, if it's like it's not a relaxing watch. And I'm curious.
It took a bunch of times because, again, watching it, I was probably 11 or 12. I was babysitting, so I had to watch The kids are asleep. They're like, I want to say that they're like a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. There's enough of a difference. Like the one's acting like he's tough. You're not watching this movie. Their parents had rented it for me from the grocery store because my mom wouldn't rent it for me. I think you had to be, a small town. You had to be a certain age to get it. So I'd watch it from like a foot and a half in front of the TV, the sound all the way down, leaning into it. So even though it was this tiny little TV, 19-inch, which back then was big, I had to be quiet about it and sit right in front of it. It was disturbing. It was, but again, it was the hitchhiker that got to me. I had seen photos of Leatherface, in like Fangoria. This is pre-internet. Again, I'm old, but I'd seen it in print, and it was always one of those like, oh, it's a daytime. It's this weird mask. I didn't know it was skin for a long time, but it was the hitchhiker in the beginning that got to me. It was the cutting the hand. Right in my face. It wasn't an effect. Even it was the one later on. We don't know. It's the on in the back half of it. There's an accident that happens, but in the beginning when it's the hitchhiker in the back of the van, I thought it was so uncomfortable. And again, it also was on VHS, and then later it was on like a beta tape. It was grainy. It was crappy. It was the red squigglies of VHS. So it always looked like it was someone's home movie. You know? So it was uncomfortable for me watching, and I didn't watch it a whole lot of times on VHS. I copied it off, so it was even a crappier copy. But I would watch it enough just because it was like an invitation to a whole world of fandom to the horror side. But it wasn't until I started watching the DVD in like 2000, I picked it up, 2001. That I would watch in a better picture, not the greatest picture, but like the DVD was still better shape. I'd never seen it widescreen before. And that's when like the heebie-jeebies stopped. I could see the whole picture. And then it was one of those things where now that it's a better picture and it's a better quality, and now it's a movie, it stopped being as effective on me because, oh, this is a movie. This is a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
The shots, I started knowing what it wasn't just because I was older, it's because the actual presentation was so much a better version of it. I saw it as a film, not just as this little dirty thing that I kept in the bottom shelf next to movies that mom didn't know about.
Yeah.
And then it became a piece of art that it wasn't as disturbing. And then when I started hearing the stories about it and when reading into it, like I'd heard about the 32-hour, the 26-hour, how long the take was, but it didn't mean anything back then. Then I would always watch it, and the awe of the craft of it came up.
Yeah.
Of like, this is such a beautiful movie. And it's like, it is the greatest student film of all time. I mean, I want to call it the greatest movie, but even Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, he refers to it as the best student film ever come out of Texas or anywhere else. So now, can you watch it now?
Yeah. I think that's fascinating. How that transition you took from like, this is like a little thing that is disturbing and frightening to me, to like, oh, okay, now I can really appreciate it and see it for what it is. And then learning about the behind the scenes is just kind of the phase I'm in right now. It's just like learning about the design of it and everything, how it was made. But yeah, I do think I think I'm starting to get to the point where it's like it doesn't affect me as viscerally.
The time it watched in a cleaned up version, the first time I watched the Blu-ray, oddly enough, with you at film school, projected on a big screen, and I'd never seen it bigger than a TV. Even like the modern day ones. But this is like 2013 or so. We had for the film program we were in, had a screening room, had a theater. We put it on there. Auditorium, thank you, sir. Big words, many syllables. And I'm sure it's never played anything like Chainsaw before or since. And I watched it with the entire class, and that got to me. The ending, the last 15 minutes of it really got to me because I'd never seen her eyes blown up. Sally's tied to the chair, and and I think that's the first time I noticed that it was their arms in the chair, hands on the chair, which to me, it's a movie again because there's hands. That looks fake. But then the insert shots, what I found out later on, they shot like a year later, where it's just her eyes and she's having a complete fit because the actress is just so done with it, and it's just
exhausted.
4 frames. It's just a little bit, and it's such a, I don't know, it's a macro lens where you can see I swear you can see the image of the camera on the back of her eye. It's so close, and it's just the sound to it that got me a little bit sick. But again, this is my choice for the class. I picked it. I brought it to the class for my me to watch my movie. When we're walking out, like half the class was just, everyone's like a little bit car sick, and then the professor comes by, the instructor who's on the show, Andrew, and he goes, I was waiting for him to hate it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things like it's not his cup of tea. And he kind of goes, that made me sick. But he was smiling like in a good way. And he had to like realize that he had to apologize for, I'm not crapping on it. That movie was so good at doing what it was doing. It literally made me ill. And he's like, I know how it was made, obviously. It's a camera, it's a boom guy, but all that put together is just so unsettling. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say that day I remember pretty clearly, like being like, I mean, I could probably miss this day, because I don't know if I want to watch this in that setting. And part of the thing that did drive me to want to watch it was Andrew's kind of, because he's not. I don't know. It seems like maybe now he's coming around more so than before. But I remember he was not really a horror guy. He liked David Lynch, and like that kind of. I don't even know what to call that genre of horror. The David
Lynch is just Lynch. The Lynch, the thing. Well, but like he would always say, "Don't. Why are you coming to me with genre titles? And genre can either be a horror movie, a sci-fi, anything." And everyone in the class is pitching like, how can we do a car chase for $10? How can we do a space opera? And he's like, how about tell a story? If it happens to be a space opera, that's fine.
Yeah.
But come with the story first and then the genre later, which is absolutely correct, by the way. I've been stuck in projects since then trying to do something. Oh, well, going to be scary. Like, well, maybe I should actually just get my head out my own ass, to quote Andrew Gingrich, and come out from the story first and then do that. So that's one of those bits of advice that he doesn't know how much I still use that. And that's what Chainsaw is. Chainsaw is like, is it Hansel and Gretel? Is it about the hippies? Is it about Vietnam? Is it about capitalism? It's all these kind of things where you have a guy coming out of he's coming out of film school. Tobe Hooper was 30. I think Hank was a couple years younger, with student actors, and they're just treating it like this is more than just, we don't know what we're doing, but we're going to do it. We've got money for it, and we keep asking for more money as we go along to make something special. But it's not. They're not trying, and he's trying to get a PG or a G. So he wasn't trying to be incredibly graphic or gory. That's why it works so well, I think, by accident, is because it's called a splatter movie, and there's there's splatter, but it's not a gory movie. There's just Caro syrup splashed around. Yeah.
This movie really could have fallen into that trap of being overindulgent and like really leaning into like the gore and the splatter effects and things, but it just doesn't. And I think that part of what I think is so fascinating about this movie, and something I learn about when I'm looking into this movie in particular, is like how wrong the negative public opinion is of it generally. There's a lot of pearl clutching when it comes to this movie of I was like, oh, the horrible imagery and things like that. But really, if you sit, and we talked about this a lot in the commentary as well, but like sitting down watching it, it's really not that hard to stomach any visuals. It's more the vibes. It's more like you're sitting down to watch this movie is kind of agreeing to just be hot and sweaty and miserable, and like you can smell this movie, and it's
that's not a compliment, by the way. Yeah.
Right. And it's not because of any it's just because of the way it was shot, and everything is presented so kind of frankly and authentically, and it was shot in these conditions that were kind of rough for everyone involved, that it kind of delivers this just like you said, like Andrew stepping out and being like, yeah, that made me sick. It did exactly what it was trying to do in that way,
which is magic, because it's not they're not pulling off someone's foot and showing the camera. It's not like a SCTV's House of Pancakes where we're going to 3D kind of thing. Sure. They don't show you anything. So it's entirely performance and the craft of editing. And it works so well. Yeah. It's just magic. Come on. Let's admit it. It's magic as you get.
Yeah. It's what makes me want to talk about movies is, these kinds of movies are just so, it's like, it's so pretentious to kind of like break what movies are down to like, oh, it's a series of images that give the illusion of movement and all that, but really when you pile everything on top of that and like give the what's the word, give the process to somebody who can really get under your skin with it. It's fascinating, the things that people can do with with
I mean,
the medium.
using pretension and be pretentious. It is show my shirt off. The pretentious. It is pure cinema because it doesn't have a song, it's not playing, like there's no Whitney Houston song playing at the end. I don't know why I'm making fun of The Bodyguard, but there's no song that has any weight to it. You don't have the beauty that is a John Williams score to tell you how to feel. No crap on Spielberg. I'm not having a good time.
Just
and there's
let
no
everybody
one
up.
image. There's no one image. Just if you hit pause, any still in the whole movie, you can feel for the person in it. You feel for any number of people, but like Sally in the woods looking at you, and that's still, you feel for him, but you don't have that get out. You don't have the emotional reaction. So any frame doesn't do it. The sound effects separated from the movie kind of does, but it is pure cinema. It is everything put together.
Yeah.
Takes you back there. And as far as like making it, you say like you can smell it. It means it's her pat. There's no smell on TV. And I don't know why. I know I watched this. I think the Blu-ray I have, the last edition that has like everything, all the bells and whistles on it. I think I got myself for Christmas like last year. So I'm watching it in like, the Midwest on December 26th. It's -40 outside, and I'm sitting here sweaty and gross because it does make you feel.
Yeah.
I can't afford heat in my house. It makes you feel super hot and stupid. And it is. And I get it. It's like, again, I'm being the nerd. It's the alchemy of it, because any aspect of it shouldn't work. A first-time director who made Tobe Hooper had made Eggshells, and it wasn't, it got enough people to come make this thing. The acting is hit and miss, but they know how to pull out performance in this piece and then this piece. The sound is great, but even like the title was going to be Head Cheese or going to be Leatherface for a long time. So they got the name was coming last. But also Hooper was going for a G. He's on the phone, and apparently he's able to call up the MPAA about ratings and go, I think it was MPA back in the day, and say, okay, if I'm going to make this movie about chainsaws, how can I get a G? What's going to keep me from getting an R? Okay, I'm putting a girl on a hook. How's this going to work to get a G? And they're like, well, first of all, it's not going to happen. You're probably a kid. He's probably playing off the kid card. So they probably did talk to him. Students can get away with so much stuff. Just don't show the hook going into the back. Don't have a dummy with a hook going into them. Don't show anyone actually getting, body parts pulled off. And he's like, oh, okay, this is cigar, Dr. Pepper. Okay, I won't do that. And so accidentally, while he's trying to get a G by not showing that, and then I don't care how good it's going to be, that's going to look fake.
Yeah.
The hook in the back is
100%.
eventually, even like Jaws, the leg drops in the bottom of the pond. Jaws is a great movie. When the leg's dropping down and oh my gosh, that's a severed leg. They cut before you see the stump, really. And that's because now it's in your head, You don't see the shark, it's realistic. So you see the shark at the end, you already bought into it. So that his own personal boundary to not show that stuff accidentally made it so much more visceral. And it's 50 years later, we're still like, oh my, and people arguing. You mentioned the commentary. The cast, Gunnar Hansen's book, again, I'll pimp that book. It's such a great book. Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface, wrote Chainsaw Confidential, or my brain's turning off again. His book on the stuff is all behind the scenes, just how he remembered it. People remember it differently. He's like, yeah, this is my book. I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
They would come up to the cast afterward and say, because it was blacklisted for a while. It was in the theaters, it was in the drive-ins. It wouldn't play on TV for like forever, until just recently probably. And they finally comes out, the DVD's coming out. People would say, oh, well, that sucks. They cut it down. No, it's not cut down. That's the movie. No, the one I saw as a kid, it shows the spike go in the back and come out of her chest, and then he cuts off her leg. And we never shot that. That's never been a movie. No, you're lying, Mr. Gunnar Hansen. I know. I'm 13 and shut up. Okay, it was my letter to him. I admit that. But you just think you saw it, and it's performance and it's editing. It's such a magic movie. That's why it's Chainsaw Day.
Yeah. It's what other horror movie has its own day?
Like Star Wars, when they ripped off May the 4th.
May the 4th, yeah.
that other fabricated, not a real day like the Roman Catholic calendar with Chainsaw Day.
Right.
And then we've been discussing this for the last week. I'll be real fast.
No, go ahead.
We've been discussing this because we do the commentary, and then obviously I'm such the nerd. Oh, we have to do this, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's a real thing, isn't it? But it's making it be more important. I've gone back and for the commentary we watched it. I watched it before that, just so I could get my dot my T's and cross my I's. Not very smart. The documentary Dinner with Leatherface is beautiful. Going back into it, it's kind of that's kind of how I feel about Gunnar Hansen. I love this guy, and I never met him, obviously. and then finished the book, his book, Chainsaw Confidential. That's the right name. So I've been doing all this research, and I had it on again today because I can have it's on Tubi, it's on my phone, so I'm listening to it, and I kind of real and there's but the big thing I remember today. Oh, and also if you want to know how it was made, Joe Bob Briggs, John Bloom wrote an article. I think it was in 2003 in the Texas Monthly. It's a magazine. You can get it for like $3 if you go online. I mean, I used to mail out copies of it. And he goes through the history of Chainsaw, and it goes into more than I could ever try and do here as far as the problems, because the way it works was they should all be millionaires. But they sold the rights to get the money to finish the film. They sold off half the rights to the film to Bryanson, which ended up being like the same people that put out Deep Throat. And I'm not going to describe that movie right now. I'm not going to link it in the notes. But no one's ever going to know how much money that's actually made, because half of the money went to the quote unquote mob. Yeah. But the Joe Bob Briggs article will do that much better than I can. What I can do is point out my love. I realized this week my love for this isn't just because it's a great movie, and it is. I'm lucky the movie I fell in love with was a great movie. And I did fall in love with Pee-wee's Big Adventure, so I'm like, well, that's also a good movie.
I'll say, hey, take it easy there.
It's actually a pretty good movie. I should crap on it. Okay, Ernest Scared Stupid. It could have been Ernest Scared Stupid. But Fangoria, even before I'd seen it, Fangoria, I think it was issue 69. I remember the name because that's kind of like I got to kind of shrink back and not trying to be dirty. Had an interview that Jazz Ballin, rest in peace again, rest in power, did an interview with Chaz Ballin, because Chaz Ballin did an interview with Gunnar Hansen. He was doing Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, which is not a movie that's worth mentioning, but it was a paycheck for Gunnar Hansen. Sure. So he got to go on the set and he got to talk to Gunnar Hansen. So you have my writer guy from Fangoria interviewing Gunnar Hansen. I knew nothing about it outside of the face and stuff, but this article it's a nice, and I loved it. It was I think I passed that when I taught film school. All the students, if you don't love movies this much, you don't be in here. In the interview, it's back and forth, and he's talking about the mask and the saw, and it's not a fluff piece, but it is. They're in the middle of the legal wranglings. It's like 88, 89 when the articles come out. And at the end, it was the writer was telling Leatherface how I love this, and this is my favorite movie of all time. I've seen this 55 times in the theater, and he got all choked up, and Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface, kind of like patted him on the head and goes, "It's okay," which is cute. It's fine. I love you too. And it was meant to be kind of not a joke. He meant it very serious. But I'm sitting there at 12. I'm emotional even now talking about it. Yeah, because I was just a kid who, when you're 12, you can't love anything. I didn't like sports. I'm surrounded by sports. Nothing against sports. I didn't feel that.
Fuck
Star Wars. Thank you, sir. That's why I love you. And Star Wars was a thing, but like I wasn't in love with Star Wars, and then everyone did, but then I felt like I didn't have enough toys and all these weird little sort of click kind of things.
Sure.
Even when I love Star Wars, and I love Marvel Comics. Fuck DC, but I love that stuff. But everyone sort of like, if I liked it, I had to keep it close to my vest and hide that fact. Like showing love was a fear. You could get hurt. Yeah. If you have in a broken family kind of thing, quote unquote. If you love something, then you have a weakness. Then you have a vulnerability. They know where to get you at, kind of thing. And no one was mean. No, I wasn't from a town of like bullies. And if there were bullies, I wasn't important enough to be a target. I was just this weird kid who didn't make eye contact. But that moment at the end of that article when Chaz Ballin is telling Gunnar Hansen that I love this movie, I'm like, oh, you can love this stuff. Like Chaz Ballin gave me permission to love something and to talk about my love for it. Wow. So even now I've got, you can't see it, but I've got who has a magazine writer tattooed on his arm, because Chaz Ballin, everything he's written, I try and have a copy of. But it was and after that, I can love this stuff so much. And I don't even know if I would have been the horror fan that I am now if it wasn't for someone giving me permission to love this stuff. That's and I love you, sir, for doing this, talking with me, because I'm dead serious. Because it's I'd be talking to the wind outside going, by the way, it's Chainsaw Day. And yes, sir, go back to your cell. Have a nice day, kind of thing. My wife texted me at the beginning of this saying Happy Chainsaw Day. And I'm like getting misty, because it is, I'm celebrating that I can love this stuff and I'm allowed to love this stuff. So thank you, Jesse, for doing this with me. Thank you, Mrs. Me, for giving me an hour up here. We're not done yet, guys. Don't get worried. But I want to thank Chaz Ballin and his wife still out there kicking. Obviously the makers of it, like everyone's passed away making it, but I want to thank Fangoria as a kid for like giving me permission to love this stuff. Yeah, because it's not something that was a big thing back then. No,
I said it. That's beautiful. That's incredible. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Because I'm definitely, you know, someone that came to the horror game late in life. I've told this story a billion times on here, but I was not really into horror growing up. In fact, I was terrified of most horror franchises, including this one.
But you weren't bored by it. That's why it's so cool.
No, yeah, but it stuck with me, and it became something that, like, you know, eventually I kind of obsessed over. Like that, I remember being, you know, I'm a huge Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan, and I remember being a kid and being terrified of that movie. Like even in high school, I was afraid of that movie, and you know, 2012. But I was like obsessed with with feeling unsafe or like feeling scared. So I remember I would put on, and now it's one of my favorite horror songs of all time, but the Killer Clowns theme song used to like make my blood go cold. And I would listen to it late at night in the dark and just like bathe in this like feeling of fear. I guess, I don't know, it was very bizarre.
It's your warm blanket.
Yeah, it was my cold wet blanket. But yeah, so that was something like for me it was less of it was like, I don't know, it was very bizarre for me, but I love that your perspective of that, of like almost like needing help to not feel shame for like for liking it, which is really fascinating to me. It's interesting kind of perspective that I'm sure I can relate to in some capacity. There's probably something that you know I was kind of in the same boat about, but that's such a cool moment. What was the name of the writer you said there?
Chaz Ballin.
Okay.
He wrote for Fangoria. He had a fanzine, Deep Red. You can get reprints of a Gore Zone, the Fango offshoot. He had a column called Peace of Mind, like a piece of your mind, but like literally a piece of it. He was the original. He would rate things on the splatometer. He was a big gore guy. And it was like, you could have a dumb movie, but if it had chunk blowers, the chunk blower was a big thing. Oh God, he was this cult of personality would be him, you know. But yeah, he would. Oh, he was, and it was fun because it was kind of like some people have. I'm not trying to compare him, but as far as when the writer is the personality. Oh geez, what's the guy? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The Gonzo journalism. Johnny Depp played him in the movie.
Yeah, I know you're not talking about Johnny Depp.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, okay.
Had that sort of appeal. But something about that person when he's talking to you, you felt like you're actually being spoken to. Like you're part of the club. Someone actually loves you. And maybe not, you know, search for daddy issues, but like almost like someone's including you is a nice way of putting it.
Inclusiveness.
Yeah. And it was just, this is the movie. And if he had been discussing, well, no, and it's flat out now we're talking about it. My love of Fulci and Argento is the same guy. Because he would talk about Zombie, he would talk about The Beyond.
Okay.
And then Pieces. It was those kind of movies. Not a Fulci one, but it's still a giallo, you know, the Spanish one. I know all that love comes because Chaz Ballin said I had to, you know. And he was right. I do. I love them all. And that does make me wonder, what if he'd been doing an interview with George Lucas about Willow? What I'd be sitting here talking about Ron Howard movies and loving, which is not a bad movie. You know, Mad Mardigan rocks too.
No, I love Willow's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie.
I love it until then they didn't show his face until the end. The bad guy with the Darth Vader of that movie.
Oh yeah,
the Leatherface of that movie. Yeah. Speaking of Leatherface, anyway, but I'm saying at least I am lucky that the movie that by pure chance, by pure luck, the same way that Chainsaw is made by pure luck as far as it working in the edit, all the pieces coming together. I'm so lucky that the movie that I chose to love in a weird way as a kid, like, oh, this is going to be my identity for a while. And it was. I'll sit there and I have tattoos of it. And every once in a while, other tattoos will kind of go, oh, maybe that's not on my skin forever. But I'm like, I'm so glad my Leatherface is there forever. Yeah. Like I chose to have that be the thing. I'm very lucky that it was a very, very, very good movie.
Yeah.
That I was in love with. It could have been Friday the 13th Part 4, which I also love.
Sure.
But what if Chaz Ballin had been talking to, like, you know, Joe Zito? Actually, he's called those crap, and he's right. But if he had been talking to like Kevin Bacon about the first Friday the 13th movie, would I be sitting here now? Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. You know, I would be showing a film because it does not hold up.
Yeah,
Whereas Chainsaw totally does.
yeah. Which is kind of interesting too. Is something I wanted to get into is how this movie kind of is constantly compared to those movies like Friday the 13th or
And it really shouldn't be because they're
right.
just not the same.
Yeah. You can't go back. I think you can watch the first Friday the 13th with a fondness, but like you can't watch that right after watching Texas Chainsaw and be like, oh yeah, these things are, you know, they're cut from the same cloth, because they're so different and just like production quality and everything. And I think it's just the way that people discuss it still to this day is different too, because you know, you're not gonna. I'm sure there are documentaries about Friday the 13th, but you listen to how people talk about Texas Chainsaw, like in the documentary we covered, which I can never remember the name of.
Chain Reactions.
Yeah. I mean, like
such a great doc. Yeah,
it really is. It's fantastic, and it really kind of drives home that this is on another level from that. It, like, even to call this a slasher movie just doesn't feel accurate. Even though, I mean, at the end of the day, if you really boil everything down, it is a slasher movie, but it's like,
it's as much as it has the same ingredients. It has,
right.
If it's like saying that just because you have tomatoes and paste and mozzarella, it has to be a frozen pizza. And I love slasher movies. I mean, I'm not against. Jason Ford still scares me. Sure. The final chapter, the quote unquote final chapter. And I love those movies too, but it's like, I mean, we this last week, my wife and I, again, because I kind of want to keep the flavor. I don't want to beat it to death. We watched the Netflix Chainsaw Massacre, the 2022 one, and then we watched the 3D one, which is not 3D anymore, which kind of ruins the point. And they both have fun stuff. There's bits in all of them, and I like the sound of a chainsaw. And I like the camera flash sound effect, and just being in Texas, even though they're not shot in Texas, like the Netflix one is in it's in Europe somewhere.
Sure.
But they're not the same movie. They're absolutely not. Even the sequel that Tobe Hooper made, Chainsaw 2, is not the same. It's not the same thing. Whenever you make it into a slasher movie and have it just be a guy with a power tool going around killing people, it doesn't work anymore. You know, it's not the same thing. Because when you talk about Friday the 13th, you mentioned Friday the 13th, you mentioned the arrow through the neck, you mentioned the final scene decapitation. Friday 4 is going to be Crispin Glover getting killed with the meat hook or the meat cleaver. Any movie you're doing the kill scenes, when people talk about Chainsaw, they're talking about the dinner scene, which no one gets killed at.
Yeah.
People talk about the opening the scene with the hitchhiker. You talk about other characters too. I mean, my favorite line is still, I'm going to say it again. This one is, "Look what your brother did to the door." and it's just the funniest thing. And I never noticed how funny it was till last time when they go out to the car, when the cook and Sally get in the car, and he gets back out and goes back inside, turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Gets back in the car. Because you can't waste money. The power bill will kill you. It's not trying to be funny, but bump. It's just a magic little movie where everything is going. You never doubt it's a movie. We're watching the 2022 one, and no one's accusing the Netflix movie of being art. But it's so shot like a movie. It's fancy like a movie. Even the remake, was it 03? Daniel Pearl was a DP on both, depending on the title. And it's still a movie. It looks. I like that one. I don't like Angie Bernarski. He's a piece of shit. But I like the movie. It's cool. I like the cast. Jessica Biel's decent for being a hero. I love Arlie Ermy is basically the cook, even though he's the sheriff. I think it's a fun movie, but it's not the same thing. It is a movie, whereas Chainsaw is like it's just the camera is running, even though there's a cut every 13 seconds. It's just one long shot,
So this might be a hard question to answer on the spot, but what movie do you think does compare to this in the same way of like the things that we praise it for, of being so kind of realistic and such a vibe?
Not just in the series, but
outside the franchise, yeah.
It's got to be something that was accidental. So it's going to be something like Man Bites Dog. That quote unquote found footage movie, because that's weird. It doesn't need to be. The
one that comes to my
Audition's popping up.
Okay.
Because Audition isn't the movie until it's the end, and that thing, it's a rom-com for a lot of it, and that's one that I still think is still real, even though you can't see below the desk, but anatomy just shrank up at the end. That's not even, it's just a foot with the wire hanger or the piano wire. What was yours idea?
I just want to say on top of that I've thought about doing audition, but I don't know if I want to watch it again.
That's my hands. I'm tight on that one. I am. It's too easy to hit pause on that thing.
Yeah.
And I love Takashi Miike because he talks about chain reactions, about Chainsaw, but it was on Joe Bob, and I was never been more happy to have Joe Bob interrupt a movie than audition, so I could have a break and go. That was tough.
But the one that comes to my mind, and I think it's mostly because my mother was terrified of this movie, and she's like, as everyone knows, a horror nut. But she got she ate the onion on this one a little bit, and thought it was real. But Blair Witch Project, that movie for so long in my life was this like forbidden thing. Like, we cannot watch it, we're not allowed to watch it, it's too scary, my mom won't watch it, she's not letting anyone else watch it, and it was so hyped up that when I finally was able to watch it, I think I hated it on my first time because I was just like, oh, those boring people in the woods, blah blah. But if you really sit down and let yourself be taken by that movie, I think it is very similar vibes to this, as where you almost are like, oh, I'm not supposed to be watching this. This isn't like, these people are in actual danger. And again, in that movie, which is, I think one of the biggest criticisms a lot of people have about Blair Witch Project is that you don't see anything. Nothing really happens. It's all just...
And that's why I love that movie, because I swear to God, I've seen the witch in the background of that one. I saw that theatrically, and I watch a lot of stuff that I shouldn't, that I shouldn't watch. But I watch a lot of stuff that's it's big and bad. Blair Witch is the one that, driving home from the theater, I think I lived like 3 miles away. It's like I was like in like a trailer park behind the mall, right? So it was just in the car and then to the place. And for all 3 miles of that, I'm like going, I'm freaking out. I am seriously upset. I'm looking, and it wasn't like it was foggy. It was barely foggy. It might have been mist on the window, but I'm seeing shit in the peripheries. And it's again, you watch it, and I love Blair Witch. I've shown that to people, and I'm always surprised. I need to preface it beforehand. Do you know anything about this one? Because I missed the opportunity showing it to one of my in-laws, and she didn't know it was fake. And I missed the opportunity to just torment her mercilessly by going, oh, the family's still trying to find the answer. There's some kind of evil kind of crap like that. But yeah, that's a good poll to be a good devil, because it is confusing, and it's so affected by not seeing anything. Yeah. And it reminds me, not seeing anything. The only slasher I think that should be up there with Chainsaw as far as like same tone or mood or anything would be Carpenter's Halloween. Oh, sure. Just because it's implied horror, it's subtle horror. It's not. There's never. I think the closest you get to a knife in the first one is it cuts the clothing and revealing a slice on Jamie Lee Curtis's arm. That's not a bloody movie, and it's all. And at the end, they don't explain he's gone. It is also the down. I mean, but it does owe that to Chainsaw, because Chainsaw had the first down ending. The rule before that was, I think the MPA was even in charge of, you can't have a movie at the end where it ends without a happy ending. You have to have the killer get their comeuppance. I don't know how this one got away with it. Maybe that was for the PG kind of thing. Even like Psycho at the end. Okay, we caught him, and here's why. Right. And have a nice day. Also... Night of the Living Dead would probably be the one film before Chainsaw that gave Chainsaw permission to fly. Yeah. Because it has a down ending, but it's not. The zombies don't win. Right. It's more so like That's one we should do. I love me some Romero. We should get into that. Yeah, that'd be great. Deep dive on that. There's a lot of Romero I need to watch. Our good friend, like I said, I'm trying to be a dick. The flavor of the month. I'm being a jerk. I loved Obsession. I love everything. Oh yeah. I've seen from Curry Barker. Yeah. I really wish more people would talk about Milk and Cereal, because I found it because a friend mentioned it to me, and I put it off for like a year, and then I go, this is awesome. This guy's gonna be huge. Yeah. He has one coming out with Ghost, and then after that he's working on Chainsaw. I'm very excited about that, because that it's guaranteed to be something we haven't seen before. Yeah. But people say, what's the next? What would be? Could Chainsaw be made now? And I'm like, no, because it didn't exist before. It wouldn't be the same thing. It's got to be something completely different, where it's almost like something like Host. Host, right one, where it's the Zoom movie during
Yeah, I love
pandemic,
that movie.
where it's when again because it's not it's what you had to do, and it doesn't
Yeah, I
answer the
see what you're saying.
questions, and it's got to be
It's a
something
product
completely,
of the circumstances.
which is what Chainsaw would be. So it'd be Host. I dig Host. Host was great, because of the format it was in. Watching that, and then
Yeah.
there's Deathstream. Deathstream. It's a Shutter movie where it's a guy doing a YouTube video. It's an Evil Dead 2 kind of vibe, but it has that same like, oh, this is kind of, it's taken the confines of what it's doing. Anything found footage kind of does that.
Yeah,
I just want to watch.
I'm trying to think of maybe it might be a consequence of found footage movies generally. I don't know if it's just me or I don't attach found footage movies to directors very well. To me, it almost feels like they're just made by the ether almost. I don't know. It's really weird. I should not. I mean, that's not a good mindset to have. Obviously, someone was behind it, but yeah, it is hard for me to like think like who could make a Texas Chainsaw type movie today that would that would scratch that itch. And I almost feel like it's impossible to name somebody because if you're going to name someone, they already have like a style or like it really just needs to be born from like you said, the circumstances that create it. That's really interesting because I was thinking like, what would Ari Aster's take be on Texas Chainsaw? I'm sure it would be something cool. I'm sure I would like it, but it would not be this. Like.
God, it's almost like for some reason the world we had to pit Backrooms versus Obsession.
Yeah,
just because it was two movies made by guys that had come up
YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And I'm team. I saw them both, dug them both, loved Obsession, I liked Backrooms.
Same.
And nothing against it. Maybe it was just I got old man eyes. But I think what's the Darkrooms guy name again?
Kane.
Parsons? No, not Parsons.
Yeah, something like that.
But anyway, Backrooms, and he's great director. But he could do something because Backrooms is more unique in its approach than Obsession. I love Obsession. I've watched it on Peacock like 5 times since then. But Obsession has, but Backrooms is more common with Chainsaw by being this weird. It's got stuff going towards it. It's not. There's no star. There's no.
Yeah.
You're not following a heroine. There's no Janet Leigh going through the first half of it. You're not sure. Like you're kind of following Pam, but then you're not folling Pam.
It's a very subtle style as well.
Yeah. So I'm saying like maybe Backrooms is the new version of Chainsaw. And it's hard. It's really hard to say. But we also don't have. Maybe it's going to be. Maybe it's already out there. Maybe it's on YouTube because it's like Chainsaw was made and born and this flew with drive-ins. They didn't have the same rules as everything else had. Mm-hmm. Drive-in we didn't have to get into AMC's and have a certain kind of rating code. So maybe this already is a great movie on YouTube. This is playing on Tubi already. It's going to be, if it could get just past the stigma of being on Tubi or be on YouTube, it would be the next thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because they weren't trying to make that's the big thing is they weren't trying to make the next thing. Hooper and Henkel and Vortex, they weren't trying to make the greatest movie of all time. That's Sam Raimi a couple years later on his Evil Dead. They're just trying to make a movie to make the next movie. And that's kind of lost right now. Again, Curry Barker is making the next movie he wasn't trying to make the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is interesting. Yeah, I do. I think you're right with are you familiar with like the term analog horror? It's kind of like that. I mean, that's what the Backrooms kind of came from. And then like prior to that, there was like Slender Man, kind of creepypasta kind of stuff. There's a YouTube channel that I'm blanking on the name of. It's like the name of a hold on, let me look into this. Man, I wish I could remember the name of that. I'll let you know. We can maybe put it in the description. But their whole thing is they do something I find really creepy would be like late night broadcasts from like way back in the day where like after normal programming, and it would just play like a video of the American flag, with like
okay, yeah,
that kind of stuff. And the whole series is like that, but spooky, essentially. Like
one of these like the fireplace, and then you put on like the fire log, and then like an hour into it, something crazy happens.
No,
That's something. It's not Too Many Cooks.
I think I know what you're talking about though.
Someone made that, and it was one of those ones I put it on to watch, and then like someone distracted me, and I go, okay, I'm not the audience for this. I know it's coming, so I can't be surprised by having the fire log be on, and then halfway through, a killer clown shows up, kind of thing.
Oh, Local 50. I think it's called Local 58. I think that's what it's called. Highly recommend anyone that hasn't heard of it to look into that. But yeah, it kind of nails that. It's very low budget. It's mostly just graphics. But it really nails that like feeling of just like realism and I don't know. That kind of stuff really gets under my skin in the same way that Texas Chainsaw does, which I think is interesting. That it's so hard to kind of nail down exactly what that feeling is, but it is cool that people are still able to elicit it. You know, so long after this original. Not that.
Well, and that's kind of like we did just do the commentary last week. Which was so much fun for us to do. I hope people actually watching it through, because it is that's our big love letter.
Genuinely, it was a great time. I think anyone that watches it will have a great time with it, because even if you're not a fan, I mean, I'm not like a mega fan of the series. I learned so much just from listening to you talk about it, and definitely check it out.
My disorder as a something beneficial happens to it. But I think this letter being a celebration of it. I mean, it's being Chainsaw and Chainsaw Day. We're part of. We know the joke. We know that Dark Sky Films has the rights to it. So August 18th is the date, the beginning of the movie. It's a fake holiday. It's just an excuse to party. It's just as real as May 4th.
Sure.
We know we're part of the joke. We're celebrating, but we are off the topic. But we kind of are celebrating what the movie means to us and what it means the horror fans, because it is this movie that's like the it's more than just a plucky spirit. It's just a great movie. And everything that comes after it is kind of not doesn't owe to it, but it is like, you know, Chainsaw did what it did, so we can have slash movies, we can have Backrooms, we can have all these kind of things. And because it comes up that way, I think it is important to remember that like everything that comes up in a weird way to don't dismiss it, because I mean Chainsaw was the title. I mean originally was Head Cheese, and then they threw it out. It was Leatherface, and then Gunnar Hansen talks about how that was great. My character's the hero of the whole piece. And then someone along, I think it was. He's in the book, and then because Gunnar Hansen points out, as soon as they said the name, we all knew that was the right name. But it's kind of, the cast goes, oh, this is kind of reductive, because now it sounds like it's a splatter title. It's no longer, Live and Die in Texas kind of thing. But it surpasses that. But it has to have a sense of humor about it. Like all these movies that have to go. Blair Witch, Project is a great example. Just the title means nothing. Yeah. And to put those words together, then it means like this Blair, and then they put it together. And then. I just want to get back on topic, but I'm also kind of going. It gives you permission to talk about everything.
I know.
it is such.
Well, that's
such
something. I don't know if I mentioned beforehand or not, but I did have some. I was a little nervous about doing the commentary beforehand. It was what I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, and I'm glad we did it this way. But I was a little nervous doing it beforehand, because I was like, oh, what if we use up all the juice? We have nothing to talk about. And I love that this has just more become a discussion of like you said, like less so much about the movie itself and about what it means for us and what it's done for us. And yeah, turning that outward and showing what it's also done for the industry, is really important.
And it's everyone that talks about it. It's not a title that there's a lot of money attached to it. It's not like if you try and crap on the X-Men movies, which again I love, Disney's going to come after you. And if you're going to crap on or really celebrate, if you try and do art for The Exorcist, you try and do like a Mask of Regan or kind of thing, you have to go through Warner Brothers and all this kind of stuff. But you love on Chainsaw, it's pretty much like across the board, everywhere that you can find it.
I'm gonna be 100% with you. When you lifted that in the frame, it scared the shit out of me for a second. I was like, "What is happening?"
Oh, it's just my roommate here.
That's great.
There we go. It's just because on my desk, and I was hoping to have it in front of me to be on the microphone stand, but I just thought, okay, I got to put it on here.
What messed me up was I thought it was a JPEG. I was like, "How are you doing that?"
I went to school for that.
Yeah.
I was worried it looked like more organic and personal to me. But this is the guy that like it's my kid got it for me. He's in town, and I offhandedly mentioned that we're doing this, and I'm trying not to buy everything. Like this one bobblehead, I'm not going to buy it. And then I come home 3 hours later, it's sitting there in the box, and my wife goes, "Did you go buy that?" I'm like, "What is? I don't know what it's talking about. I didn't do that." And I'm like, "I'm not lying." And then it didn't turn into a fight before I realized, oh, my kid got that for me because he loves me. He was trying to set me up. But it's even funnier that we almost got into a fight because of Leatherface.
Yeah.
It's just it's a weird little linchpin. It's almost like you don't know, like SNL, all the careers that came from Saturday Night Live, but then you have to give credit to the Canadian the variety shows that Lorne Michaels did up, north of the border, but Chainsaw is known. So, but it is one of those things where it had to do what it did. And what I was trying to say was, because it's not owned by anyone, it's owned, but it's not closely guarded the way it is. It's on Tubi. Everyone can see it.
Yeah.
It's on, and everyone can talk about it. And there's no gatekeeping for Chainsaw, but it's like, you get past that title, and I don't, the title for me is the joy of it, right?
Sure.
And but it's a weird little everything can be discussed on Chainsaw. It's not like another movie where you kind of go, oh hey, did you notice that when Captain America on your left or Do Us All Day, it comes up later on, it's there for your enjoyment. With Chainsaw, it's kind of like, why is it that there's 3 movies that are called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but not really, because only one is, the first one is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then the 3D one is just Texas Chainsaw, and then the Netflix one is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So there's never been a movie.
Yeah.
There's never been the same movie titled twice. There's 3 Halloweens.
Yeah.
The same title. And it's just this weird little sub note, and it's like it's just it's so discussable. It is like I mentioned with the Chaz Ballin thing. It's like the handshake movie, and I'm so happy I have a movie that I can sit there and I can refer to it as, oh, you want to talk about something? What's your take on Chainsaw?
Yeah.
And then if you've never seen it, oh, we're going to discuss it. If you're like some people and call it that old movie, I'm going to talk a little slower to you, and I'm going to bide my time. But I also noticed, as far as like the current fandom, and my wife was mentioning about, do you get mad when someone doesn't like it? And I go, well, no, it's not. And that's the thing, is I get mad if someone they poop on anything. But I take Chainsaw so personal to me. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like me. And I didn't make it. I'm not saying I'm not taking ownership of it. It's just one of those things where I think I've attached myself to it on like a psychic rapport level, where I just have it be like, oh, well, you don't give me a chance. It's the same thing,
Yeah, I think it's also fair.
Be nice.
No. I think it's also fair to say, like, if somebody dislikes it for, depending on the reason they dislike it, you can easily make the assumption like, oh, okay, we're just not gonna get along. You know what I mean? Like,
we're not going to discuss. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, okay, well, our media intake is different, and that's okay. Sometimes,
I do remember. Oh God, my brother had a friend. We had talking to a group of people, and he was saying how he didn't like Chainsaw, and I go, hold on, which one? And then he had to try and describe what it was, and the movie he described was like I think it was like the prequel to the remake. So I'm okay, it's fine. Okay,
sure.
It's a good movie. You should. It's fine, but we're not talking about the same movie here. So I'm not going to like find your car or your in the middle of the night, come visit your house, or to be more honest, I'm not going to cry in the corner that why didn't he like shit?
Yeah. What did Chainsaw do wrong?
What did he do? How can I? Then the dumb thing is, I try to explain it. It's literally like I've written things or done things that have been rejected. I'm like, okay, that sucks. But I've never been more hurt by when someone goes, oh, it's just dumb. It's just loud.
Yeah.
I hate the character at the end. She's annoying. I'm like, oh, well, you think I'm annoying then? I think you're annoying. And I'll get so wrapped up in it. And it is a flashback to like childhood, where like a fighting uphill kind of thing. It's just so. It says much more about me than about the film. I'll put it that way. We're watching Chainsaw 3D. It's the one that Alexander did. It was a 3D one, and it opens up with a recreate. It shows the closing footage. It actually recaps the original film 74, re-edits it, puts it together. Oh, that's kind of, they put the shot here, and it's kind of fun, and then it recreates the house for the opening shot of the movie. And it's like, okay, that's not bad. It's not shot the same way. So like, why bother to recreate the house? We're going to shoot it weird, but that's fine. It's fine. They bring in Bill Moseley, who played Chop Top in 2, and he's just an all around, celebrity to me. And he's playing Drayton Sawyer, the cook, which is again funny to me because he's playing it the first movie, but he has a name from 2. The nerd brain and he's going, well, that doesn't line up. But Tobe Hooper was like a producer, so he obviously didn't care. And they're using the name Sawyer, which came up in 2, but in the original film, the last name was Slaughter. It was never said. It says on a building. But so they're using all this pastiche kind of thing. It doesn't matter because I'm enjoying it. And then they have Gunnar Hansen playing like the cousin, and then the grandma is played by Marilyn Burns, who played Sally. So I'm like, cool. Oh, it doesn't matter. I love this movie now, and I knew it before, but I'm watching it again, going, oh, I've got to love this because they gave them this big send off and it's beautiful and little narration from Sally at the end. And it's not a good movie, but because it's on my side of history, I'm sitting there going to defend it like it's the first one. And it's boy, that's the one where they go to the first one. It's supposed to be set in 73. They have the dates, and then the girl, the baby, grows up to be Alexander Daddario, and it's supposed to be like a 93. But then suddenly they have like cell phones and smartphones and like brand new cars. And I'm like, yeah, they didn't care. Yeah. So Dario's not my age. She's literally 52. Not my age. But anyway, as dumb as it is, someone on the outside comes by, I'm going to defend it and go, no, you're dumb, Mr. Senator. I'm going to not get political.
I think it's also a fair movie to, I think it is a movie that it's fair to assume if somebody doesn't like it, that they probably weren't watching it with the right frame or, they didn't go into it giving it a chance.
Or they just didn't watch it.
Sure. Yeah.
They say they have, or
based an opinion off of nothing. So I think that also kind of, it does make it really easy to kind of get defensive about it, or it's just like, oh, you didn't like it. Oh, okay. Well, what's wrong with you? Kind of a thing.
And I try not to do that. I don't, no, yeah. I like your take better, that it's like, oh, they probably didn't watch it. It's like it's like not liking Jaws.
Sure.
It's like, did you watch on your phone? Did you already know how it ended? It's one of those things where I love seeing it. People that haven't seen it before, like when you saw it in the theater. Mm-hmm. We saw it up at the theater, the Rep Theater up in Sioux Falls. My kid lives, and he had a couple of friends with him who had never seen it before. And I'm up there taking selfies with the poster outside, like the marquee, and they're all kind of going, "What?" And then we watch, and then they kind of go, "Oh." Yeah. Okay. And then they know they didn't enjoy it the way I did, but it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. They thought and they were kind of like let down. They kind of wanted it to be a Freddy movie, a Freddy sequel,
sure.
Like just a slasher. Bam. They wanted Terrifier,
Yeah.
And then they got The Godfather,
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. They wanted Terrifier. They got The Godfather too,
Yeah. Not that Terrifier.
And I will go down. Pretty good point. I will go down saying that the Godfather is the Chainsaw Massacre movie of gangster movies. There we go. I'll flip that around.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
I do love those movies. I remember the first time I watched The Godfather, I watched it. First of all, I was in my 20s, watched it kind of late. But I think I watched it 3 times that week. And that's a long movie.
When I discovered them like in high school, so not much ahead of you, probably wasn't driving. It's like 14, 15. And I rented, I think 3 was coming out. So I went out and rented 1 and 2 to watch the third one. Cause it was a blind spot. And then actually that's a lie. I think I watched the first one because I was trying to read the book and I wanted to get through it for English. So I was 14. Loved it. Watched 2, watched 3 at the same time, and then went out and watched everything with a mobster related, whether it was City Heat with Burt Reynolds, Mobsters with Christian Slater, Miller's Crossing with Gabriel Byrne. Just went through this big, everything that was any good, and then ended up on like Scarface with Tony Montana. I'm like, I think I've run the gamut here. I think I'm no longer. I'm gonna have to stop here. Yeah, because there's nothing else past that. I mean, from being a 14-year-old kid in a small town, that has all my movie library is what Prano has on the shelf.
Sure.
I was lucky they had the Godfather movies.
Yeah. So I think in conclusion, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, pretty good movie.
Pretty good. It's her hot take.
Yeah,
I know it's a big surprise. I'm one that I've got like 3 tattoos and more money invested in the collection than I have in like my 401k, which I don't have. Yeah, Chainsaw's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It comes down to the point where this is my handshake. When my job just switched me, I'm now like remote working for a hub out of Kansas City, and in my entrance interview, oh, I'm kind of a movie guy. And it's like, oh, well, which one? The guy's very smart. He's very affable. Again, it's on a Zoom call, and I mentioned Chainsaw. Oh, what about it? And I did a 5-minute speech.
Hell yeah.
5 minutes. I'm watching the clock because we have like a 30-minute window, and I'm like, I just talked 5 minutes on Chainsaw. That's embarrassing. And then I keep getting teased in the big Zoom calls of the Chainsaw guy, and I'm okay. That's pretty funny. And then the next week, I'm still working local, and one of my local bosses, oh, how's the interview? Oh, it's pretty good. What'd you guys talk about? Chainsaw. What'd you say? The exact same 5-minute speech. And I'm embarrassed as I'm talking about, I'm going, why am I doing this again? Why am I talking about Chaz Ballin and Fangoria to another person who did? And of course, the joke is I just did that same speech, 40 minutes ago.
I was going to say, now whenever someone asks, you can just send them a link to this video.
We're saving time. I appreciate that. We're going to say.
Get these words on paper.
I'll on my phone. Just go. The Esco goes here. Just watch this.
Yeah.
Control-Alt-3. It's a hotkey.
Yeah, I don't know what's a good call to action. How is everybody else celebrating?
I would love. I hope people at their theaters are playing this. Fathom is putting it out. Fathom doesn't cost much more. I hope we're dropping this on Chainsaw Day. So if you're getting this late, you've already missed it. But I'm hoping more theaters do it. And it's the 52nd anniversary of it, I believe. So it's not like the big push for the 50th to do like go out and see it. But I mean, it's just a great movie. This holds up. If you haven't seen it yet, it's something on your bucket list. You should see at least.
Yeah. I think I was not on purpose, but I think this whole discussion was spoiler free as well. So if you really are going into it, I mean, we've mentioned a few things, but go watch this movie. We didn't
tell them it's a chainsaw, so it's fine.
Oh shit! I should blur out the background
and the name of the movie.
Yeah, right. It's a Texas something.
It's the big point in that John Bloom article that oh god, he's talking about it, and he mentions that the worst thing that the censors had with the title wasn't the word chainsaw, it was Texas. They were so upset that it was set in Texas. It was just they don't want to distribute it. They don't want to distribute it because we're Texas, and they would distribute Chainsaw Massacre before they would distribute Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So yeah,
that's funny.
Many.
But yeah, yes. I don't think we even need to talk about recommendations. Obviously, we recommend this, yeah, it's great. It's great. If you've heard you've definitely heard the title, now go watch the movie. Yeah. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you have any reservations about this movie. Even if, especially if you're someone who's like, oh, I don't want to watch gore. It's not gore. It's not gore.
This is a performance. This is if you're a film student, this is the one to watch. This is the one. It's well documented. But the editing in this is so to the bone. It's amazing. It feels like it's a monster, but it's like 82 minutes.
Yeah,
and it just flies. But it's just a great movie. It's just something you can do, and it's designed for deep dive. It's designed to go down the rabbit hole. And we haven't mentioned nearly enough on the people that went on afterward. And here I'm going to start all over again. So yeah, and take.
We'll start part 2 here. Yeah.
Oh, then part 2. No, okay. I'm gonna no, but this is definitely, as far as like you want to send us an email, Reddit. I would love to know when they saw it and what they thought it was. If they saw it so young that it's part of their DNA, then you're cool. Yeah, we're cool. But I'm really curious about people I talk to even now, if they saw it later in life, which sounds like when you're 70. Like people that came out in their 60s. I'm always fascinated by their life, but this is a little bit less important. But to me, it's probably the same. Sure. The people that didn't see it until they were like in their 40s, what do you think it was beforehand? And then when you walk out, like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. Or did you just, am I wrong? And there's been enough in the media that you do know what it is. I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious what people think.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite question we ever ask is like, oh, tell us about the first time you watched this, and especially if it's such a classic that if you're coming to it so late, I think you're probably gonna have a really interesting perspective. So and if you would like to let us in on that perspective, you can hit us up at TDMMVI pod at all of your social media. They're down below, or you can email us directly at tdmmvipod@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you guys. And next time, we're going to be talking about something much different. Jason, you haven't watched this yet, but I'm excited for you to. We're going to be talking about Exit 8, the Japanese horror movie based on the Japanese video game. I'm pretty sure it was also a Japanese game. Fantastic game. And stay tuned for that because we might have some kind of exciting news about the channel and broadening our horizons a little bit. So definitely go check that episode out when it comes out.
Yeah, and if you guys have I'm looking forward to that one too because you rarely give high praise before. Normally, Mr. Spitzer will say, "Have you seen it?" I'll say yes or no. And if I say no, he'll just go, "Oh, you should."
Yeah.
And then, but you don't want to give me anything to sway me. But I am excited about this and where it's going to go. What I want to say to anyone watching or listening, if you have gotten this far, I really appreciate it. But this is our 50th episode. It wasn't intentional to be chainsaw, but it just kind of worked out. We did a little bit of finagling at the end with the commentary to make 49 and 50. But I just want to say thank you to anyone who's stuck around this long, and I really
100%.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we're not slowing down, you know, we're still we got
Speak for yourself, mother. Okay.
We got exciting stuff coming, so stay tuned for this for the next 50.
After that, though, we're going to call it.
Yeah, 100 episodes. Once we hit triple digits, it's going to be too much. But until next time, until we hit those triple digits, I'm Jesse Spitzer.
And I am J.R. Lees.
And this has been The Devil Made Me View It. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thanks, guys. The Saw is family.
The Devil Made Me View It, a horror podcast, is brought to you by Jesse Spitzer and J.R. Lees. Copyright 2026.